Danielle here in just a moment. We're not taking a break. We're going to cut right over to Danielle and hear about Danielle's angel blessing. Danielle Garcia.
Thank you very much. Well, honestly, I really just want to run the hell out of this room right now. But Anna has requested that I stay. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about Anna. As Steve has mentioned earlier in the broadcast, she passed away last week. Well, the first time I met Anna was in a Lightworker seminar. And it was my first one probably 3 or 4 years ago, shortly after I moved to Vegas. And, you know, at that time, I was the one sitting in the back of the room. I never raised my hand. I was just the observer because I wanted to check this whole thing out and see exactly what was going on here. The first thing I noticed was Anna and how she would go around the room and hug everyone, and she scared the freaking hell out of me. I tried to stay away from her, and it worked for 2 days. At that time, I was sitting alone in a corner, and she came over and she said, "I got you now," because she'd been watching me too. She came over and she gave me this hug, and there's no words I could even use to describe it. It was a remembrance of home. It was just this amazing heart connection that I'd never, ever had with anyone else. And that's what she's always been for me. She's been able to see things in myself that I could never, ever see before. And it was interesting because the day after she passed, my daughter Ashley came in, and I've just been a wreck and trying to deal with the whole grieving process and everything. And she said, "Mom, can I sing you a song?" And I said, "Well, sure, honey, go ahead." So she starts singing this song, and it's called Your Friend Is Not a Fallen Angel, and how her wings are not broken, her voice has finally spoken. And when she finished singing it to me, and of course we're both crying at this point, she said, "Yeah, Anna came through to me last night, Mom, and she wrote this song for you. And she wants you to know all these different things." And she had written down this long page of things that Anna wanted me to know. And things at my house are a little different. I have some pretty gifted children, so it's not unusual for someone to say, "Hey, Mom, there's a spirit in the hallway. Okay to cross him over?" So when Ashley came to me with this information, it wasn't a real surprise for me. Now, Ashley went to the computer because I asked her to type it up for me because I wanted to save it on my laptop. She emails it over to my laptop. I go to open it up in Word, and all it says is my name over and over and over across the page. And I'm like, "Ashley, what happened?" And she's all, "I don't know." And suddenly I hear this giggle, and it's, "I can do things on the computer that you can't now." And Anna's sitting right next to me on the couch. And every day we've been having this rapport. Well, still, it's just been weighing so heavily on my mind. And I question myself because I deal with death. I help people transition. I do deathing work. I help spirits cross over. And a lot of times I think I understand the process of death more than I understand life. And I know she's in a better place. And I know she's out of pain. I know she's partying it up over there. I got to see part of the welcome home party, and it was just amazing. I know all of these things, but yet I'm still so sad. And so I wanted to know, so what is this grieving process about? And I asked my guides about it. And a lot of what came through the message to me was that it is a time of remembrance. It is a time of remembering the good and the bad, the things you wish you would have done, the things you're never, ever going to forget that you did do. But most of all, it's about you. It's about how that person made you better. It's about how that person taught you different lessons along the way. One of the greatest lessons that Anna ever taught me happened right in this room. And it was during the sexual energy seminar. And all of these horrible, horrible memories of abuse started coming through to me. And it was so difficult to allow myself to remember those things. And she held my hand, and she looked me in the eye, and she said, "Baby, just feel it. Just feel it, so you can let it go." And as I sat there this morning before I came here today, wondering how I was going to make it through this broadcast, because her energy is everywhere in this room, she told me again, baby, just feel it. And so I did. And after I wiped my tears away, she told me, now, honey, you just feel my love. And she wrapped her arms around me, and it was just like that same amazing hug the very first time. I've been questioning a lot this last week. And I was down on myself because I thought I should have understood better. I thought I should be through this whole grieving process. And I spoke about it to a friend. And he says, what makes you think that you can deny your humanness? And I think that's the big lesson. We come here in this plane of duality to learn the good and the bad, to experience sadness. But along with the same degrees of sadness, there are the same degrees of joy. And that's exactly what we learn from. Grieving isn't about being strong. It's just about being human. Thank you, Anna, for teaching me that.
Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, I was in the back of the room during the second segment, and we had some technical problems going on back there. Many of you know last month we had some real challenges, and this month we're really kind of sensitive about it. So we were back there, and these unexplained things were happening with our broadcast in the first segment, and I got it just as clear as day. I went up and told John and Charmaine, I said, Anna's messing with you guys. It's just that simple. She can do things on the computer we can't now, and then to hear you say that is just very special. So, Anna, we miss you, but we love you. And the hard part about the grieving is it's not about separation. It's about incorporating a part of her in us. And that's the beautiful part about it, because she lives on. She affected every one of our lives, and that's really beautiful.